In this lesson, I am teaching opinion writing. To begin this lesson, I asked the student which each of these dots on this page look like. Some of the answers were water spots, and then I asked them to describe why they thought that. As they described this, I wrote down water dots, for example, and then why they thought this, because they'd seen it when a bathtub had emptied out the little dots, and so on. So after we discussed opinion writings and what is an opinion, we as students developed a family member we would like to speak about and a descriptive trait of that person. As an example, I spoke of my mother, and my example was my mother was a strong woman because she raised 2 children by herself. Then the students return to their designated seats. If your student has not developed a person or a trait, please help them do so. With their elbow partner, students will collaborate to determine the person they are talking about, the trait they are describing, and the supportive reasoning about that trait. This will provide their writing material. As a parent, you can assist in this process. If they've said it's their aunt because she's beautiful, well, why is she beautiful? And give some supportive reasoning. As a teacher, I will lead a class discussion regarding the potential person and traits. This is a guided discussion with only the ideas, so who the person is and their trait. Students are then given the realia or paperwork necessary to brainstorm their ideas to develop paragraphs based on one trait and thought and expanding upon it. I walked around the classroom providing assistance when necessary, so please, if your student is struggling, please assist them. I also provided correction when necessary and supports when asked. Please try to have your students do this as independent as possible, but do provide support when needed. And I will ensure that every student has a person and a trait. Once the students have their person and trait identified, they will write their opinion paper. For the purposes of scaffolding, some students may write 1 paragraph while other students write a 5-paragraph essay. Your student will know what is expected. For our struggling students, we might work in small groups. For our high-achieving students, they may be peer helpers to students that may not be struggling but just need a little bit of extra assistance. For this lesson, the brainstorming and expansion writing will be checked. This lesson will be over 2 days. The first day would be the brainstorming, so I know that they understand what is expected and they have their ideas. And the second day we would check with the expansion writing. Does their writing show that they've used their person and their characteristics and described them completely? Time permitting, once the expansion writing was complete, students could share their writings. Preferably struggling writing and high-achieving writers and the average writer would share. The teacher could also share a sample writing. This would allow students to hear different opinions, perspectives, and learn from each other. Thank you.